Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with not exactly a review for you. This is going to be some thoughts I had about the Doctor Strange movie. I'm pretty late to the party on this one, but I've done something for every single, well, basically I've done a review for every single Marvel movie that's come out since I started doing this, since I started this channel. These last few weeks have just been exceptionally crazy for me. I did go to see Doctor Strange the day after it came out. It's just I'm working two jobs and a lot of other crazy stuff has been going on, and I just did not have the time or energy to get a proper Doctor Strange review out in a time when it would really seem relevant. But I just didn't want to kind of let that go by without sharing some thoughts on this. So let's just kind of get right into things. This is going to contain some spoilers. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume you've seen the movie. So if you haven't, probably better just to move on to a different video. So let's just kind of get right into things. Overall, I kind of agree with the main criticism that I've seen leveled against this movie, in that it basically just sort of feels like the original Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man movie, except with magic. Now, Marvel has come up with a formula that works for most of their movies, and that's all well and good, but at this point, after these years, the formula is extremely obvious. And Doctor Strange is one where it is most painfully obvious. Now, I've been hearing rumors that Marvel has kind of realized this and sort of been saying to themselves, like, okay, we need to shake things up a little bit, and, I'm all for that. But nonetheless, the movie is still a pretty enjoyable affair. Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, most people know him best from Sherlock, but of course, with lots of other things. And I was impressed. It really didn't take me very long to sort of forget that, hey, I'm looking at Benedict Cumberbatch. Hey, I'm looking at Sherlock. Hey, this guy really should not be speaking with an American accent. And just sort of really sink into the character and go along with his journey. So that was great, and Marvel has of course been wanting to get Cumberbatch on board with them for a long time, and and people have kind of been saying, like, as Robert Downey Jr. gets older and older, maybe they're going to be looking to a younger actor like Cumberbatch to sort of be the guy that pops up to do the cameo in a bunch of Marvel movies in the future. Now, I don't think they're going to hang all of that down on Cumberbatch, but it certainly would not be a bad move. He is literally one of the most in-demand actors in the English-speaking world. He's famous all over. I mean, I used to live in South Korea, and one of my Korean coworkers absolutely she was fanatically devoted to Sherlock. She loved that show so much. He certainly delivers a very good performance as Stephen Strange. He's right on there when Strange is this cocky jerk. The humbling experiences that he goes through, his uncertainty, and I don't think I've seen Cumberbatch do anything with this much comedy ever. But he is no less deft to hand at this than he is at drama. The man is just simply a phenomenal actor, and Marvel is so lucky to have been able to get him. With some of the other characters here, like Wong, of course, big deal in the comics, but kind of one of the problems is that he started out as basically like to modern sensibilities, extremely racist Asian servant of a white dude. Here he's been reinterpreted as a librarian to the Ancient One, seriously badass guy, not somebody to screw with, and a very powerful mage in his own right. This kind of fits with some of the other interpretations, more modern interpretations of Wong that I've seen. One that I really like that I saw some years back is that Wong is also has also taught Stephen Strange martial arts, and Strange even sort of points to it as like, there are some disciplines in which I call Wong a master. And I always thought that was a nice way to do it. I kind of like the idea of Wong not being Strange's servant so much as kind of his partner. Um, Not really too much to say about what was her name, Rachel, the doctor lady. Again, it just, I mean, that was all nicely handled. It's just, it kind of feels like, man, do we really have to have some kind of romantic subplot going on here? I mean, the part where she just basically sort of like washes her hand of Strange was nicely done, but still, it just kind of feels like this doesn't really feel like something that needed to be there. Baron Mordo, I really like what they did with him. He's one of Strange's major enemies in the comics. Here, he's a little bit of a mentor, kind of a friend, a powerful ally in the whole situation. And then by the end of the movie, of course, we've seen him going down the road to where he's ultimately going to become a bad guy. And it's really hard not to sympathize with Mordo. He's basically so much of what he has invested his life and soul into has turned out to have been built on a lie. And basically the person that helped make him who he was, that transformed him from just another broken human being into this powerful mage, has been deceiving him for God only knows how long. And it just breaks the dude inside and puts him on this really terrible path. So, I mean, I will say that. People have even said before this movie came out that Mordo really did have the best character arc in the movie, and I honestly can't disagree with that. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yeah. So there's, of course, quite a bit of controversy associated with the movie in regards to basically having a white lady play the Ancient One, and there was that bit of news got out when one of the screenwriters apparently got a little bit too honest and basically said, like, look, the reason we did this is because we couldn't just have a Tibetan guy be the Ancient One, because otherwise this movie would have never been able to get into China, and Marvel wants that sweet, sweet Chinese box office. And then Marvel was like, no, of course that's not. We went with this lady because she's a really awesome actress. And in all fairness, the lady, and do keep in mind, I am terrible at remembering actors' names, so it's not disrespect to anybody. It's just I'm really bad at this. She does deliver a really great performance. It's a very convincing performance. She's very adept at coming across as both caring and wise and powerful, and also maybe perhaps just a little bit too petty when she kicks Strange out. I'm like, come on, lady. Surely you've had people be more rude to you than that. But okay, but nonetheless. And yeah, that the whole change does kind of suck, but at the end of the day, Marvel is a business. And so it's kind of it's kind of easy to understand that Marvel would say, like, okay, Tilda Swinton. Yes, that's who it is. That's who it is. All right, let's have Tilda Swinton for us because she's a really great actress. And people kind of like they'll tut at Marvel a little bit, but you can't really complain too much about replacing a male character with a female character, especially one played by such a great actress. So yeah, Marvel is not going to do anything. Is going to do anything. Is going to make it so that they can't get this movie into China. China is just too damn much money, and that's the way it is. And you know what? I'm just going to leave it there. There's more that I could say about this, but no good comes of it. So let's just leave it there. It is what it is. Past is the past. So I don't really have very much to say about Caecilius. He's an extremely obscure character from the comics, and it just sort of feels like this guy really did not think his plan out. I mean, Strange even points out to him, it's like, hey, did you notice that the warnings about why you really should not do this horrible magic spell were also in this book? I mean, dude, Caecilius, why didn't you read the whole thing? In fact, why did you tear the pages out? Why not just take the whole damn book? I still don't know why he bothered to take the time to cut the librarian's head off. I mean, you could have just knocked him out or just stabbed him in the heart and it would have accomplished the same thing. And of course, Caecilius and his friends ultimately get transformed into mindless ones. That's apparently the Marvel Cinematic Universe's equivalent that we saw there on the screen at the very end. In the comics, they're a lot more sort of hulking, sort of cyclopean things, but whatever. Also, notice that the whole big final battle takes place in Hong Kong. Sweet, sweet Chinese money. It's kind of like in Iron Man 3, where Tony goes to Shanghai to get his heart replacement. And yeah, that was totally Shanghai. I mean, you see the Shanghai skyline outside the window at one point. Never mind the additional stuff added for the Chinese edition. I've personally been to Shanghai, so I know what the Shanghai skyline looks like. Sweet, sweet Chinese money. Let's see, what else? Not a huge amount to say about Dormammu, who, interestingly enough, was actually also voiced by Cumberbatch. Kind of an interesting continuation of him playing Smaug in the Hobbit movies. But I did like that bit at the end where it's like Dormammu, I've come to bargain, and he gets killed a whole bunch of times. With this, the whole thing that he's basically tricked Dormammu into getting trapped in this time loop. Now that's classic Doctor Strange stuff. You know, he can't always just wave his hands and shout magic spells and stuff. A lot of the time, it is him, using his wits to outthink these supernatural entities, and that's how he saves the day. And I really love stuff like that. I mean, it's very Hellblazer in a kind of way, but I'm cool with that. Plus, Hellblazer is a great series, and John Constantine is an absolutely fantastic character. Let me see. There were some nice little nods, of course, to the comics. We got to we heard the Vishanti mention. We got to see Wong wielding the Wand of Watum. If you really paid attention, you even got to see the staff of one held by a lady who's almost certainly Tina Minoru. And if you know Runaways, you know that's a big deal. Runaways has been announced as a series that Marvel's going to be dealing with Hulu. I am so pumped for that. Classic Runaways was such great stuff. I loved it so much. Can't wait to see how that's going to pan out. Probably going to turn Molly into an inhuman rather than a mutant, but that's fine. Anyway, so all in all, got its flaws, and not the strongest of the Marvel movies. I mean, I think I ultimately enjoyed this better than I did Thor Ragnarok, but not hugely. But nonetheless, hopefully Marvel will be a little bit more willing to take some chances from here on out with its movies, sort of break away from the formula for a little bit. But for what it is, Doctor Strange is still a pretty fun movie, and it's a great performance by Cumberbatch, and it really does a nice job of opening the door to the mystical side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm pretty stoked to see what they're going to do next time with this character. All right, and I'm going to call it here. As always, thanks for dropping by. Comment, rate, subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and please also join me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care and have a good one.